Welcome to the Foil Life Podcast, where we talk about foiling and the lifestyles of those who enjoy these great sports. Mr. Kiran, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
How long has it been now? The last time I think we chatted, you had longer blonde hair, and I think you were on tour.
Yeah, so I spoke to you when you were doing an interview with Boeing.
That's it.
Spoke to you. I think we've spoken once after that with PPC with Sam.
Yeah.
I think our first one was about 2.5 years ago.
It was a while, man. You're ripping, fuck. I've seen some of your recent stuff, and you've put in some time. It's amazing.
And I, being 40, I have to put in extra time compared to these kids. With,
How old are you now?
I'm 41 this year.
All right.
Started at, 37, 38, which is interesting to start a sport. But, have to put in those extra hours for me, man. Like, the body's a bit not like it used to be. So to learn these tricks and then it's hours on the water, just going out there and, doing what I love and, trying to get out as much as possible.
The latest reel I saw was that you were on North Gear, and let me look. We're going to go over to your Instagram because I kind of want you to walk us through some of these little latest reels that you were doing. What's this one? I think this is the one that I really like. You took some notes from Mr. Cash Barzola, I think. Look at these foil slides. Well, it's going to be coming up in a second.
So this was my actual first ride on the SF30.
SF what, sorry?
So it's an SF530.
Oh, the little guy. Oh, sick.
Yeah, a little guy, but it was really funny because when I was riding it, I was out there for the session. I didn't feel, I don't know, I felt a bit off. I felt a bit off my riding. And then when I watched the video, I was way tighter than I've been with my turns, and it was quite powerful. And that's a real cool thing about, I always say to people is video yourself if you can with a X4 the Insta360 or someone else that's filming, because it proves your riding so much. You know what I mean? Like what you feel is not always what it looks like. And being able to film it and see. And like you might do, like for example, big on me is, you might come back and hit the top of the lip and think while you're doing it, oh, so critical, it was so deep on the wave. And you look on the video and you're like, I could have been 2 meters further, down towards the pocket of the wave. And with that I took that little foil out for the first time, and I was like, I'm missing this bit. And then I watched and I was like, I was in the right spot, and the carve downs were steeper and right, and even though I felt a bit off, that fall was something else actually. That fall
is it
really
the
cool.
Same one you're using in?
So this is an interesting one. So this is the SF680. Is it 680? I hope I got it right.
Yeah, I've ridden that one before. Yeah.
So that's my light winged foil. So I use that in 10 knots up to 15, 16 knots. I like it in like a fatter kind of wave. It's got a really nice glide. Super early lift, but still got control. And I suppose with one thing coming across the north that I've learned is their numbers are a little bit different. So that's 6.8, sorry, I hope it's a 680. 680 SF was probably equivalent to other brands I was riding like an 800.
All right.
I think it's that's my light wind foil, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And they were foils when I first looked at it because I'm a bit of a mid aspect type of guy, and I saw ones, and I was like, oh, it's probably not going to be, I see it for ponying, it's probably not going to be my wing foil. And then the guy in Australia, Alessandro, he was like, mate, trust me, you're going to love this SF for winging. I was like, yeah, I'll try it, but I don't think so. I can't get off it. I can't get off it. So we get stubborn sometimes in this sport. I'm stubborn. I get
Yeah.
stuck with things, and it's hard to try new things sometimes, but definitely worth it. Definitely worth
Well,
it.
we started riding like Mike is full on, or Mike, sorry. Frank is full on everything north. As soon as we got sponsored and started working with the team over there, and obviously our sponsors are open to everybody. We don't kind of just pigeonhole, so we want to work with as many companies as possible. But North was the most receptive and the most supportive of our show and our community. And give big shout out to Maurice and then Mike as well, who helped us get in. And so then I started writing the SF series last winter when I was in Mexico, the 830 I had. And then I think Frank's tried pretty much everything. And overall, I really liked the foils. They were very maneuverable, very nimble, good low end. And I'm going to probably be riding the same kit. I was thinking of trying the 680 this winter because I'll be back in Canada and the Great Lakes. So we're
Yeah.
going to have some good swell. And that's where I tried the 830 for the first time, I think 2 winters ago or last winter. Yeah, 2 winters ago. And it was such a blast. I loved it. So we're going to see how that goes. But how did this conversation with them start? Because I know you were writing for a few other brands and switching from another brand to, let's say, talking to North, who are in your backyard. They're in the same general area. So how did that convo start?
Well, actually, it all started local shop. I always say in this industry, you know, retail's the most important thing for us, right? For all the
Mm-hmm.
brands. I was at my local shop, and they were starting to get North gear. And I just had a look at some of the gear, and they said, "Yeah, try some of the gear." So I tried some of it, and then I'm someone who just can't shut my mouth, right? So if I like something or don't like it, I say it. And I talked to Alessandro, who looks after all of Australia, the national dealer here, and he said, "Hey mate, here's Mike's number. Tell Mike, Raper, what you think of it. He's a real receptive guy. He listens to, anyone. He loves to talk foiling." So I thought, I'm going to send this guy a message. I said, "This is what I love about your gear. This is what I don't like with some of the gear." And, within half an hour, the guy writes back and
Hmm.
he's like, this makes some sense. Let's have a chat about it. So we ended up jumping on a phone call for like, I don't know, 2 hours just talking about foiling. And and the guy's a brand manager, he's right up there, and he takes the time out to speak to some stranger in Australia. And for me, like I love that stuff, right? Like if someone loves this sport that much, they're not closed off to hearing something from anyone. And I want to be involved with that. So it all kind of started from there, and riding the gear. I like the gear, and then just have more conversations with Mike, and then yeah, like the guy wants to have the best gear. The guy wants to do the best. He's willing to talk to anyone. Um, and yeah, I just see a future in that, and they're out in New Zealand. So hopefully, fingers crossed, one day I can join on their R&D team and work with them. And yeah, so basically start from there, and we'll see where it goes. Nothing's in concrete yet. Nothing's being done, but I'm loving riding their gear and having fun doing videos with it at the moment.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It was the same thing with us. I think I was sitting in the parking lot. I had just hit the gym, and Mike had written me back, and then we hopped on a call impromptu with him and a couple other people. And especially Mike, I like how he thinks and how open he is and how much he appreciates the community support. Not every brand is as receptive. Some brands are very difficult to get a hold of, but Mike has been 100% supportive of all that. They do what they can. Some year, obviously, their budgets are tighter, and some year their budgets are more. But yeah, so far I like it. What have you seen the difference? Let's say we don't need to name specifically who you're riding with or whatever stuff, but what do you like the most about switching over to this gear?
There's a few things of like gear and community wise, right? So I think it's over a
Yeah.
basis of everything. So one thing I guess that stood out to me with North is a big one is they support Max Robinson. So obviously a friend,
Hmm. Yeah.
who's really into, like, he's doing a lot of coaching now in Canada, obviously. but he's got some really cool programs with getting people who really wouldn't have got into foiling to come into wing foiling and try it. And I know North supports that. I like that. I love that if you look at North, we're talking about foils before. I think it's an underestimated foil, and it's actually quite a bit. I don't want to sound like I'm really pushing something to stuff, but
Hmm.
it's right. It's cheaper, and it's comes in cheap at the market, and it's still a really high performance foil, really well set up. Um, boards.
They they support Weekend Foil as well. So that's a Canadian organization that's Canada wide that are out of yacht clubs and different kind of boating establishments, and they help you get into foiling. So I know that those are great guys as well, and I know that North supports them through Matt Aiken. Shout out to Matt here. He's our kind of rep in Canada, helping out with all of that kind of stuff. So that is nice to see as well. You're right.
Yeah, and then with their gear, like there's with every gear, right? There's a little bit tweak here and there you can do with it, but if the basis of the gear is really good and fun to use, it's all about fun, easy to use and fun to use. And with their wing boards, finding them really easy to get up. 55 liter I'm on, and you know, it's a really easy board to get going. Then with the foils, you see the control there on the slide, like that foil is a the 680 again. It's just super controlled. Um, their wind wings, you can see it really balanced well. So that's what you need. You want your wing to be balanced. Uh,
How are transitioning to foil slides like that? It's obviously it's all foot strap, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
you know foot stroke. Basically, it's a little bunny hop, and then so you want speed, getting your speed, and then it's like a little bunny hop to get yourself up onto the foil, and then using your wing to power you, right? And then if you can
Mm.
get a bit part of the way, that's going to help you slide as well. So um, yeah, it's just doing it, getting yourself powered up, little bunny hop, little skateboard bunny hop, and then set yourself into the slide, and yeah, if you can find a bit of a steep part of the wave, that's going to help you continue it. Um, I want. There's more to the slides. I think we can add to, and these kids have
Yeah.
been doing. There needs to be a bit of a 360 slide added with that at the end. I think that's the next progression.
That's yeah. Is there a next vid? Do you have another video about that on here? No, eh? Well, that's all pretty exciting. Are you thinking about humping back into some GWA stuff, or are you going to just focus more on making content and doing that kind of thing?
No, I absolutely love the GWO stuff. I was sad that there's only one competition this year because, you know, at 40, I don't go in it to. Look, I go into want to do my best and do as well as I
Yeah.
can, but I always improve when I came back from one of them. Like
Hmm.
it's I want to put myself against the best, not so much to beat the best, but it's always going to lift your level. And I love those competitions. I hope it's not the last one. I do. I hope I can do more. I hope I get more funding from people wanting to do more surf. It's just
Where
art.
um where are you training? Like, where are you out of the Sunshine
Sunshine,
Coast?
just I guess an hour and a half north out of Brisbane.
An hour and a half north out of Brisbane.
There you go. Sunshine Coast.
Oh, okay. Where's your local beach?
Well, you look at so if you look here, Malulabar, we've got that's pretty much that's the spot there where you see like it's been working really well. And we've got it. So if you zoom in on, there you go, on that little headland
Maluba?
there. Yep, that's it right there. So basically, when it gets big enough, and when we get sand in there, that's the spot you'll see where most of the videos we'll do most of the filming for the videos. Yep, right there.
Oh,
And
sick. So you got
not a
nice
good
swell coming in. So what is that? Kind of north swell, I guess, that comes in wraps in there?
east is east southeast actually the best.
All
East
right.
southeast will go right across. Um, but it's just yeah, when it's right, you'll catch it from out here. So at the top, if you keep going up the top of the rock point, um, and then all
Right
the
up
way
here?
through. Yeah.
Oh,
So
sweet. Okay.
that's the spot there.
See, that's we're in relation to everything here. So that's on like pretty much just smack East Coast then. Yeah, because it is just so picturesque there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we only wear wetsuits like 2 months a year, which is awesome. Even right now, and in winter, or during winter, you'll get days where you can just wear board shorts. So which is nice, and we've got some real cool spots up here. I haven't filmed yet. It's a bit hard to get the drone guy up there, but we've got a spot up here that I'll definitely get done this year. That you would have seen for surfing, but we haven't really done any for winging yet. And it's about, I don't know, kilometre or 2 kilometre wave on a foil. So
Sick.
should be pretty good. And we've got a bit of an island off there, but that's been a bit hard to film, but should also be good if we can get some filming off that.
Did you think like a couple of years ago getting into foiling you'd be at this
No,
point, gotten to travel around a little bit and gotten to meet so many cool people? And then I want to
it's
dissect your favorite North kid after this, but yeah.
yeah. So it's been amazing, man. Like literally,
Hmm.
it's so funny. Like I say, this all started because someone said have a go of this wingfall thing. I'd toe fall a little bit, and I went to go take the wingfoil out, and I put a hole in it during taking it out and shoring. I hadn't even tried it, and obviously I put a hole in it, so I have to buy this thing. And if I
Oh, that's true.
it was an ocean rodeo full of lure too, so it wasn't
Yeah.
cheap.
Shit, no.
So I was like, if I spent 2 grand, I'm going to learn this sport, and then man, changed my life. Like I've traveled. I couldn't even. I've been to countries. I never even thought of. I didn't even know Cape Verde existed. Been there twice now. One of my favorite places to be to. I've never heard of it. We've been Fiji, New Zealand, Mauritius. Let's go to Germany last year. Meet some amazing people in Germany for the foil festival in Germany. Um, we've been to Brazil twice. Like crazy. Like Brazil, Chile, and meet some really cool people, and done it at a different point in my life. So being able to do this and push myself where my body's not the same as a 20-year-old, 25-year-old, but I'm lucky to have the head of a
Bro,
fool.
don't say that. They just don't even know what they're doing. They're young and full of, tests, but that's all they got, those 20-year-olds.
But I tell you what, mentally it's so much better because I don't care what someone thinks of me. I don't.
There's a lot of freedom now.
If someone judges what I do or don't do, I do it because I purely love it.
Hmm.
There's been so many rejections in this journey, and I tell you what, if I was 20, I was quite a good skateboarder when I was younger, and rejection would just shatter me when I was younger, and it just turns you. I think it does it to a lot of kids. It makes you want to stop. Where
Hmm.
40, rejection's so different. Like getting rejected. It's waters off a duck's back. It's like, okay, well, I'm not this guy's cup of tea, but that doesn't mean I'm not everyone's cup of tea. You know what I mean? Like someone can think you're crap and someone can love what you do. It's an objective sport. Um, so that's been a massive positive to for me doing it at this age. Is I've never been affected by criticism or anything. It's just made me want to go and be better and go and train harder. So that's been really
Because the,
cool.
the the target market for foiling is literally 40 to 70 in essence.
100%.
That's the people that are spending most of the gear. They're all on mid lengths now, from what I've seen from some of the numbers. And we're going to see a big switch away from downwind paddling. It's about 10%. I'm looking at the market, a lot smaller, and then a lot of people are switching to like a mid length board where they can pair wing, all that kind of stuff. That's what we're seeing. But the average people, like when I was on Maui for 2 months, and I was at Uppers in the Kanaha, and the crowd was 60 to 70 years old, and every day I'd be, hey, how's it going? I would do my double sessions. So I go windsurfing for like an hour, and then when I get tired and physically drained, I'll go hop on the wing and I'll go back out and catch some nice waves and rip around. So it'd be like longer sessions, but that is the crowd that are getting into these sports. That's the crowd who are buying gear. So they need, influencers of our age who can ride and who are more connected to the community than perhaps some other people are not. Because it's difficult to connect to know what your body reacts to and how you need to train yourself unless you've actually kind of experienced it. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty important.
So we'll always need the kids are always going to push it, right? So you have the
Yeah,
kids
for
there.
sure.
It's been a
Yeah.
super interesting thing with this whole foiling stuff because what you said is exactly right. Okay, so um, if you look at the guys I ride with here, we've got 20 up to 70, and the cool thing is on a foil they can with the waves we go out. Yeah, everyone can kind of find their own little spot on that wave that they can do. So whether you're 70 or 60, you can still go out the same spot. That's a
Yep.
really cool thing about it, right? So you
True.
can say you can go out and I've got a friend here who's out with me all the time and he's a doctor and he takes 2 hours off every lunchtime and he's either out fall driving or winging every day, and he's the market, they're the market. And the cool thing with foiling in this is that I to me it's like golf, right? I try to explain to when I talk to the brands or people in the brand, I'm like, to me, foiling's close to golf. The age bracket that they're in, the people who are
Oh
buying
yeah.
it's quite close to that. So
It's
they
techie,
also,
it's nichey, there's a lot of little pieces. They're always talking about it. It's not like you're just going to get one for kiting, for example, you'll get one kite, you'll get a either a strapless or a twin tip, and then boom, you're off to the races. You're not necessarily tweaking your lines every session or playing with shims or hey, there's a longer fuse or a shorter fuse or a smaller. Like you're having so many little technical conversations, and I find that's what's captivating a lot of that older crowd who love to kind of break things down systematically because it's exciting.
and that's why they want information content, right?
Yeah.
They want
Yeah.
information based. And so yeah, even when I go into, it's funny, even now when I'll try something new, like say I've just started, I've always touched proning here and there. I've never really got into it till about 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. I wanted to learn how to prone. And like, it's funny when I go to look at videos, I'm not looking at the best videos. I'm looking at some average guy. It's like, okay, what setup is he using? What size boards he using? And you got to think of that when someone's coming into the company, into the sport, they really need that information that's just really basic information. And when they know nothing about it, and you got to remember they know nothing. So the information they want is from scratch. Um, so all that stuff will always be really important. And we always want the young kids because they're going to push the
For
sport, right?
sure. They always
Kids
do.
next level. But as a sales tool, I would dare say that, your older guys who are like someone like a Gwen. Like I can
Mm.
imagine someone like a Gwen so important for a brand, just information based. Um, I think, yeah, and there's another guy, it's a really good guy. I'm trying to think of I'm sorry, I can't think of his name, but
Well, Erwan Geoffroy out of France is doing a killer job as well. He's
yeah,
the one that just did that massive channel crossing. He was on the show not that long ago. Also,
okay.
super rad dude.
Yeah, these guys really important, really, really important to the industry and passing that information. So a
And
mix of
you're gonna
everything.
get like you're getting assless chaps for your next video, so you'll be able to compete with all the girls too, right?
Yeah, yes.
That is gonna pop off, man. You're gonna get at least 1 million views and something like that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think in a broader thing, I want to see wing falling become so mainstream, right? Like right now, we're still so niche. We're
Very
so
niche.
like
Yeah.
there's some big fish, but it's still a little pond, right? I'll like hopefully by the time I finish with this sport and because it is truly a passion for me, I won't be stopping it. I want to travel. I want to be involved in it. But I want growth. Growth is our big thing. I just don't want to be available just to a rich kid whose parents can afford to
Hmm.
buy gear. Like there has to be a way around it. And brands are doing good jobs with like sailing clubs and getting, as you said, that they're doing in Canada. We need to do more of
Yeah.
that. Because at the end of the day, if we make it bigger, right, it's going to benefit everyone in the long run. Like we're going to be
Hmm.
able to riders, retail shops, brands, everything's going to benefit from us having a growing sport. And it has potential. You know, I don't care what anyone says when it says this was what supping was, this is what windsurfing was. I wasn't around for supping and windsurfing, so maybe I've got my blinkers on. But for me, accessibility, what it's morphing into, how it's going, I think this is bigger than anything that's ever come in the sport. I really do. I really, really do think that it's you can do a sport where winging where you're not around other surfers. You got downwinding
Yeah,
when you're out, you're still by yourself. You got full driving where you can be going on parts of the way where no one is. So I think why it's and then you look at winging, like how much better is gear going? Like I can wing in 8 knots now from
hmm,
I can wing. I win 3 times a week, and we're not in the windy. We're not in a very windy spot, and I win 3 times a week.
hmm,
Um, so with equipment getting better, spreads out how much more you can do it. I look at kiting. I'm probably winging 5 times to every 1 kite that you could hear.
for sure.
And windsurfing, it's even more spread out than that.
Yeah,
You know,
unless you're in like I was on every day, but I was lucky to be on like a super windy island, and I found I had unless I put straps on, I had maxed out kind of what I was comfortable doing winging wise. So it's like if I strap up and go smaller foil, then I might try that if I can hopefully get back there in March. But transitioning, because I was riding the 830 SF, I had a 60 fuse, 85 mast. I was riding their S185 tail. And overall, I really liked the setup. I ended up selling it to my neighbor, who was this 13-year-old kid in La Ventana, super sweet guy. And his dad was able to buy that kit for him because his foil was just an old monster that he couldn't even ride. So I was awesome to be able to give that to him and say, hey, you can use this like next to brand new foil. Enjoy yourself here. So that was kind of fun to be able to do. But what's your go-to setup? Because we're probably around the same size, right? You're like 160 something?
me 3 to 75
Yeah, okay.
kilos. So that's not pounds, kilograms.
75 kilos? Okay, I think yeah, so let's see what the math is on that. It's all that good food you have in Australia, all the kangaroo and stuff you're eating, right?
Crocodile.
75 times 2.2 is 165 for everybody just to see. And what kind of wind strengths are you kind of riding in there? Anywhere
Let's
from
say
8 to up?
12 to average is 12 to 16 knots. Very rare to get over 20 knots. Downwind we can do 8 to 12 knots here. But yeah, average, let's say 12 to 16 knots is our average wind speed.
Whoa. Okay. All right. What's
So,
your favorite setup?
okay, so firstly, I hate changing. I always same mast, same fuse, same tail. Never change it. Really, unless I'm doing something downwinding, I won't change that at all. So I'll use a 145 stack tail, which is the
Is that the new one?
yeah. So it's I don't remember which yeah, 145 short 60 fuse and an 85 mark.
All right. Let's see foil systems. Let's hop over to northkb.com and look at stabilizers and see what stabilizer you're riding here, because I have the 185 and I wanted something smaller.
Yeah,
So
145.
so you're using the 145 V2? This is what you're using?
All right.
Interesting. All right, cool.
And I
And
don't
then front wings we had talked about. Let's go to the surf discipline here. So I was riding the 830, which I really, really liked. I did hop over to the 680. The reason I was liking the 830 is I was giving lessons in Mexico. And the nice thing about it is it had so much low end that I can kind of stall and hang out with clients. But you were trying the new 530 is what you were saying.
yeah, so 530 was was really like turns amazing. That thing really does turn. Like you can, I've never been able to hook something as hard as I can hook that in the bottom turn. Um, but you know, it's still probably not going to be. It's you know a front wing that I'm going to use. Let's say 20% of the time because we don't get strong enough wind.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it's the 680 that I think is probably the most versatile wing. Like if you're buying a setup like that, thing's going to cover you for a lot of foiling conditions. You know, and I'm using so I've got 55 liter wingboard, which I've been learning for, which I've been doing the proning with the exact same setup for wing. So I use a 680. I literally don't change. I take my foot straps off, and that's my proning setup, and that's what I've been
Sick.
doing. Um, so I don't like changing fuse length, tail, or mast. So I really only like changing front wing because you get used to it. You know, you get used to how it's going to react. You can fix a lot more mistakes if you really stick, especially mast length. I don't want to change that really ever because you know now I can kind of feel if I'm about to breach um, and can counter that to stop it. Fuse always short. I don't know. I've always liked short fuses.
But you have 6, 7, and 650. So you actually have a couple different combinations here that you can go with. But I like the 600. So that's the shorter one, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And what board are you riding?
55 swell.
Okay. How do you like that thing? Apparently there's been a lot of like changes for the newer one that just came out last year.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I actually want it for. I've got 55. I think I'm going to take. I want a 35 for proning. I like short. I don't like my long boards. Not. I like my boards quite short. You know, 6'8", 55 probably the max length I want to put in for my winging. Um,
So
yeah,
that's the new swell. And let's see the size chart here as to what we were looking at. So the 55 liter was 4.8.
yeah.
Um, all right, so you're gonna want a 35 liter.
For proning, I really like it.
Yeah, okay.
It's 4.2, is it? What is it? What is
Four
the?
four.
Yeah, 4.4. So
Yeah.
I want that. I want that one for proning. And I'll leave the foot straps in it, which is cool. I'd like to start like now I'm doing proning. I'd like to you know, I've been struggling to get my feet into the foot straps with the proning. So proning, it's been good in the last 4 weeks learning it all, but I've got to figure out to get my next stage is to get foot straps in. Always love to ride with foot straps.
I haven't tried it yet, but I think I will this winter. Yeah, I got a new 60 liter that I'm going to be riding with, so I'm going to test out that
Yeah.
puppy to play around with. So that'll be pretty fun. But um, in any kind of strike missions lined up, any video stuff that we can look forward to seeing?
I am going to do something October. Now, if anyone, you know, any of your listeners have any ideas, I want a nice right-hander, nice long right-hander with some good wind. So I think I'm going to head over to Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
Over Morocco. Had a few contacts over there. Yeah, so that's the plan for the next trip. October, November, head over there, do a couple of weeks. But I'm not closed off. I haven't locked it in yet. But yeah, definitely due for a trip. So I will be going somewhere. I think Mauritius was about 2 months ago now, month and a
Mm-hmm.
half. So and that was a cool place. Interesting.
We should. I want to get out to see King of the Air, and that's a big North Mystic kind of event. If there's anything good there, that's the end of November. I'd be more than happy to chill there with you for a week and do some stuff.
That'd be
So
very keen.
that could be
Yeah,
fun, actually.
you can always travel. Once you're in Europe, you can travel anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the
It's
thing.
easy. It's easy to travel anywhere once you're in Europe, and yeah, it's the cool thing about sport. You know, like we met on a podcast 2.5 years ago, and like you've got it's really cool to have common interests. You know, when you got a common interest, you can you can always get along every other way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um,
True.
and that's been a very cool thing. I've met some really cool people. Some really cool people in the last 2 years.
And this year has been insane for us. Like we were in Florida, went from Florida to Hawaii for 2 months, and then from Hawaii went to Bonaire for a week for a camp, back to Hawaii for 2 months, Vancouver Island. Now I'm going to be here for a month, hop over to see AWSI, and then maybe hop over to King of the Air, South Africa this winter. So if you say that podcasting doesn't do anything, it's certainly got me out of the house.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. We're not going to be, we're not going to be millionaires out of the sport. I can tell you that much. We'll lose more money than we make.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, I've saying this a few times to people. I've never had, I guess, less job income than I've ever had. Doing story stuff. But I've never been happier.
Yeah.
I've never, I've got 3 young kids. I'm sure my wife isn't happy because she works so much. But, like mentally, everything, the sport is just, it's just been a crazy ride, man. Be able to find something at 38, do it. It's so cool. And I think we're in one of the coolest parts of the sport. Like, it's just this new sport. Like, I think in 10 years, I hope it's as big as surfing. I hope it's in a really cool part of it where like small companies have changed the game. Like you've got these big companies there, but if you look at like the changes that have happened in sport, like Alula, Ocean Rodeo, you look at like Dyneema was really started with, I guess, PPC like last year and then caught up, and like, the big brands have obviously do a lot for it. But don't you think it's cool that like these little brands of guys who have just based on passion have started trend? Look, what wasn't Parrowing BRM? Is that BRM who started the thing?
Yeah, Greg does a killer job on those things for sure. I met him because he hosted because I finally was able to do a downwind race, the first Maliko run ever when I was in Hawaii. So I did the Paddle Amua race, and I met Greg there at the function. And yeah, it's cool to be able to push the sport, do something you're passionate about. And then I know the industry is hyper competitive, but it's good to have some love in it and definitely see what we can put out and change people's lives for sure. Because I think this is definitely more of a life-saving business when you can go out after a long day. If you're frustrated, you go have a good time, then you go home. You're always in a better mood after some sort of a session. So I think that's the most important thing that we're pushing is like it'll dramatically improve the quality of your life for sure.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's because it's so hard, right, at the beginning. When you're out there, like think about it, when you're out there, do you think of anything else? It's very hard in this life to block your brain out as you get older, right? Always taking over. But when you get something like this, even at the beginning when it's hard, you don't think of anything else, do you? When you're out there for 2 hours, your mind is absolutely focused on what you're doing. And whether you're good at it or bad at it, it's still the same mind concept of just a blankness of concentrating on what you're doing.
That's the beauty of it. And I remember one night in particular where the wind was getting lighter, it was head high, it was just myself, a couple turtles around, and you're just whipping turns. Beautiful. It's just insane. And you're like, where the hell is everybody? It's like I have this whole part. Yes, it's not perfect waves like it is in the winter, but it was still some of the best, like one of the best sessions I've ever had. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy to think that it can induce that many good feelings flying above. We are walking on water. We finally did it, man.
Well, man, do you know what? I always think about this, like our age group, what was the thing we always wanted when we were a kid? A hoverboard. Everyone wanted.
That's true.
Everyone wanted a hoverboard, right? No kid from the 80s, born in the 80s, hasn't wanted a hoverboard. Why is this hoverboard spoiling?
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, everyone wanted one, and this is the closest we've got so far. So, 70s and 80s children are so into this sport because it's it's what we all wanted as a kid.
True.
To be able to float on top of the water.
Well, sick, man. Hey, it's nice to catch up with you, and let's chat after because we might be able to put a little package together, see if we can make Cape Town happen. I think that would be sick.
That'd be awesome, man.
Cool, brother. Well, hey, man, I will chat with you soon, and yeah, thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Cheers, bro.
All right, bye, everybody.